This episode contains discussions of assault and related topics that may be triggering for some listeners. Please take care while listening. Support resources will be provided at the end of the episode.
Okay.
And we're live in 3, 2, 1. Action.
Hi, welcome to Left Leaning Ladies. I'm Whitney.
I'm Sasha.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Meredith.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Amy.
And you'll notice that Amy is a new host. So we're super excited to have Amy step in front of the camera instead of doing just all of the branding and behind the scenes. So she was already a producer and decided to come aboard in front of the camera. So why'd you do that?
I just love what all of this is about, and I want to be able to share with you guys and, discuss all the things that are going on. And we're all such a big part of it, and it just means so much to be part of the movement. So,
But also, we kind of begged you. Like, I really wanted you on this show. Every
Yes.
time I was like, come on, let's just do it. And I'm glad you did it.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. The branding is so fun to do, and I will continue to do that in the background. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here.
So we have lots of new things this episode, and I'll just quickly go through them. If you notice behind Lisa, Sasha, and Meredith, we have our new logo that Amy actually hand-painted this one, but she has developed our new logo. So we're excited about that. You guys might have to say something, so this camera switches to you.
Hey, check out our new logo. Supposedly, it's behind me.
No, it really is.
It really
behind you.
And then behind us, we have this great picture that was dropped off at our filming location. Thank you to Julie Caveney for giving this great Women Rising print that Kelly has hung on the wall. So we're super excited about that too. That was such a lovely gift. So thank you.
Yes, and we're here at Beatnik now.
Hmm?
Beatnik 2. Have we said that already?
Yeah, no, yeah.
And so we're at a new place. New walls, brick, exposed brick.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely. So let's get into it today. I have a couple comments that I thought were especially fun.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. This week has been a lot of people like really talking about how incompetent we are.
Always uplifting.
So sweet of them.
It's like, girl, go on, do your own podcast, like whatever.
They have a lot to say about ours.
Yeah.
But thanks for weighing in because it ups our follows.
Yes. We do appreciate the engagement, always.
So this person says, women work office jobs and live off the government. They don't do real work. Ergo, they have time to illegally stand in the street, luxury beliefs and all.
Wow.
Ooh, ergo, they were getting fancy.
They were.
Lot to
I've
unpack.
never
there.
protested in the street.
No.
Like, we stand on the sidewalks and I
on
don't work an
public
office
sidewalks,
job.
not even on private sidewalks. We're
This
in public
bitch doesn't
spaces.
know anything.
Office jobs, not real jobs.
Oh, it was a guy.
Oh, I thought it was a woman.
No. Well, he's saying women work office jobs, so I hope
Well,
it's not a woman.
these people don't get the concept of a weekend.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
where like you don't have to go to work all 7 days. You know,
Yeah. I'm the only one of us that's too lazy to work.
We literally protest for like an hour at a time. Do you not have an hour in your day or in your
Literally.
week?
They have an hour to be online ragging on us.
Yeah.
Of course
if,
they do.
if you genuinely cannot take 1 hour off a week, you're probably being exploited by your employer.
They get really mad when you mention that, though. I've brought that up to some of them, and then they get all fired up about, you don't know anything about my job. I make more money than you. And
Oh,
probably because I'm too lazy to work.
it's so funny to me because every guy that wants to fight with us is a millionaire.
Yeah.
They have time to be online.
Yes.
Like,
bothering us.
Can't you hire somebody to fight for you?
Right.
Right. If I were like had extraneous amounts of money, I wouldn't fight my own fights. I'd have somebody do that for me. I think that
wouldn't waste my time online fighting with women or talking shit to women.
Go on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got all this money and such a great life. They should just like tend to that
Yes.
instead of being online and being hateful.
But isn't protesting a job? Because aren't we being paid for that?
You're right. He keeps saying it, but
Yeah,
Soros
I
is
still-
so bad about paying his bills that
I have
Yeah.
not
I
showing up.
haven't been paid for the whole year.
yeah,
No.
One time.
it's ridiculous.
They keep saying it's in the mail.
Yeah, they
Just like our tariff checks, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Doge
And
check. I haven't got that yet either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for those to show.
I know, me too, man.
Can you imagine the road trip we can take when we all get our Doge checks?
Oh,
It would be so fun.
L3 in the Caribbean?
There we go. Works for me.
Elon's in some trouble though. I don't know.
Yes.
That's
Who knew it was illegal to pay people to vote?
$1 million.
Shocking.
Who knew? All right. We actually have a theme for this episode, and it's you've been seeing in the news quite a bit, and so we're titling this episode "Believe the Women." So I'm sure that we're all aware that Graham Platner has dropped out of the race. He was running for Senate in Maine against Susan. What's her name? Susan Collins. That's her name.
I was going to say that, but that's also a lady in Hillsborough. So I went brain dead for a minute. I was like, no.
Yeah, so he was running against Susan Collins and was looking really good. Like in his primary, he got 70% of the votes. So he was really looking strong. He had endorsements from Bernie Sanders, from Elizabeth Warren, and all kinds of people. He was looking like the next Mamdani, which was exciting for the Democratic Party. However, there were signs. So there were rattlings of like old social media posts that were not too cool, his tattoo that may or may not have been Nazi symbolism. And then the women started to come forward. And I'm so glad that he immediately lost his endorsements.
Yep.
He immediately was kind of forced to step out of the race. And I'm glad that the Democrats came together and were united in condemning his behavior. Whether or not it's true, we have to believe the women. People will come in our comments and say all the time, oh, it's just an accusation. And true, it's an accusation. He hasn't gone to court. He's not convicted.
Yeah, but I would like to say something about that
Yeah.
because the statistics show that only 2 to 10% are actually false reports. And in those false reports are something called unfounded reports. And that can mean that there was just not enough evidence, that the police just didn't want to move forward, or the woman ended up not wanting to pursue charges. So even in that false reports is wrapped up in these unfounded reports. So, I mean, it's so rare that a woman is going to falsely report this.
Absolutely.
And we know that 80% of women know their assaulter. So it makes it so much harder to come forward when you know that person.
Yeah.
And then even if they have more power over you, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, because I know, like, of my friends, I have a friend who was raped and never went forward, but we've got to quit treating these women like suspicious first. We're asking for due
Exactly.
process, but just don't start with suspicious. That's what I keep seeing in the comments, that, well, we don't, she didn't report it, or there's nobody who's like being held accountable for it. Well, yeah, that doesn't happen. Like,
yeah. We get all the comments of, well, she was asking for it.
Yeah.
Really? Little girls in diapers are raped.
Yeah,
Nuns in habits are raped. They were not asking for it.
Right.
absolutely.
Just because you went out with a man does not mean you're asking for it.
Yep.
Or
I heard
or
a
something
really-
revealing.
I heard a really good analogy about how when women report assault that it doesn't get taken seriously. And it, like if your house is robbed, the police come to your house. They don't say, well, your house is, you got really nice siding. Was your house asking for it? Or, like,
Right.
Right.
it's very similar, because believing women means that we believe that they should be heard
Mm-hmm.
and believe that it needs to be investigated and support survivors and follow the evidence. It doesn't mean that everything is true. It means it needs to be investigated.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's the common issue with how people get so riled up over it.
And in the rare instances that a man has reported rape, have you ever heard that he was asking for it?
Exactly.
He was dressed inappropriately. He was asking for it. You never hear
I've
that.
never heard that.
Yeah,
Never.
it's never said that way.
The only thing that admittedly that I've heard is that, let's say, a male student is raped by his teacher. Some might say like, well, like good for you. And it's like, no, that person was
disgusting.
violated. That's
That's
horrible.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It's more of that, not that,
Yes.
they're lying or something like that.
Completely
Right.
dismissive.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. A 15-year-old boy with his 40-year-old teacher somehow is like super manly, rah, look at him. And
Right.
that's pretty darn sick too.
Disgusting.
Absolutely.
And then the women that do report it, if there is any justification just from like the people that I know, the abusers get a slap on the wrist usually. There's hardly ever like any like time that they do for abusing women.
Yeah, it's so rare that it leads
Yeah.
to an arrest,
Yeah.
and then even rarer that it leads to a conviction, because there aren't always, you don't always have the rape kit, or it wasn't done properly, or all the evidence wasn't gathered, or it has been years.
Yeah, many states have multiple year backlogs on rape kits. They just aren't processing them because they don't have the funds.
And that's part of why women don't report, is because there is no system in place holding all of these men accountable across the country.
Exactly.
There's nothing in place for this. So you can take a rape kit for sure, but like you said, it'll just sit there for years.
Mhm.
And then what?
Yeah.
Plus,
Is that
it's
the
just-
woman's fault?
It's just incredibly traumatic too. Sometimes your body just wants to forget it all
Yeah.
and block it out. And for some people, it doesn't come up until much later when they attempt to process things in therapy, or something is triggering.
Yeah.
So there's
I
that
know
aspect too.
a lot of women who I'm in recovery, and a lot of us didn't know like the line, like, was I assaulted or was I not? Because
Yeah.
we know that we were really drunk or we were really messed up, but then
Right.
there would be men who would prey on us.
Yeah.
And, I myself have had some questionable things done to me while I was unconscious. And I never went and reported that because I felt shame myself,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
blamed myself.
Yeah.
When really, like, they are also capable of just not touching someone who's passed out
Right.
in front of
Yeah.
them.
Not
Right.
only capable, but required
Yeah.
to not do that.
Right.
Yeah,
You know.
I didn't report mine either. Like mine wasn't quite rape, but it was something, and I had to do EMDR for PTSD, and it's just what it is. It happened when I was younger, and I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So
It's heartbreaking.
I mean, I don't know one woman that doesn't
No.
have a story of a male being inappropriate. I mean, we can all,
Same.
yeah.
I think we all know someone.
Well, and this is a little bit of a shift, but everybody knows I was in a long-term abusive relationship, and obviously that has been reported, but I mean, he's never really faced any consequences aside from not seeing the kids,
Right.
So sorry.
Right. He's still perfectly free to harass you.
Yes.
Yeah, and he still does.
Well, and then I find it hard to believe that the allegation alone is like an automatic life ruiner when we literally have people in our government with multiple accusations. I mean, we have a Supreme Court justice that was confirmed and sworn in despite all the allegations.
We have at least two.
Yes.
Yeah.
And don't forget Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
We
that's
wouldn't
true.
be in this mess if someone would have listened to Anita Hill in the day.
Exactly.
And I couldn't believe that I saw the Republicans come out and say that if you supported Graham at any point or something, that like you supported a rapist.
Yes.
And it's like, hello, knock,
Yes.
knock. Like, are you there? Trump is a rapist.
They came all over the Montgomery County Indivisible page when I had put up, before he pulled out, a statement saying that he should remove himself from the race and, we should believe the women. And they said, well, if you were ever in support of him, you're saying that it's okay, while they're sitting there with Brett Kavanaugh, Clarence Thomas, the president, all of these people.
And
the hypocrisy.
My whole thing is they like to split hairs. So, I mean, like, in terms of Trump, he was found liable in court for, the term is sexual abuse, but it's kind of because they can't prove that the forced penetration was with his genitals or something else, or like it's kind of like you're splitting hairs. Either way, you don't want somebody like that as president.
No.
Like, it doesn't make a difference.
These MAGA guys are the same people that absolutely knew O.J. Simpson was guilty before there was ever a trial or anything.
Right.
But, he got off. And, then when he's found, civilly liable later on, they're, that proves that he was guilty.
Yeah.
But in Trump's case, being found civilly liable doesn't prove anything.
Exactly.
He's just a creep. At most, he's just a creep.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's happening even now. I mean, throughout time, throughout our whole lives, things like this have been going on. Just look at the Epstein files and the mishandling of those.
Yeah.
Like Todd Blanche, as we're recording this, Todd Blanche he had his first congressional hearing. And the Epstein survivors have put out a PA on their experiences. All of the mishandling of their files, their personal information was put out. It's just disgusting. He shouldn't even be a lawyer, let alone the attorney general. Make sure you're calling your senators to tell them that.
Yes.
So yeah, we're still talking about the Epstein survivors, and thank goodness they are willing to come forward, put themselves out there.
Because it just re-traumatizes them every time.
Yeah,
they have to
every
bring
time.
this up.
Every time.
Yeah. Well, we've got Jay Clayton nominated as Director of National Intelligence. He's currently the attorney for the Southern District of New York, which is the district that is blocking giving Epstein file information to New Mexico's Attorney General to investigate the Zoros Ranch. He is actively blocking this.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to put him in charge of intelligence.
Yeah.
It's craziness.
And this shouldn't even be a partisan issue.
No.
But it's become one when one party is consistently blocking,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Epstein ladies are asking for more transparency as we speak, still battling it out.
And we're 7 months into it and still have not released
Only 1%,
approximately.
right?
Well, some studies are saying we've released about 55 to 60% of the Epstein files.
Okay.
There's still approximately 3 million documents and videos that have not been released. And Todd Blanche says that these things are irrelevant. They're repetitive. Or my personal favorite, some of them are in foreign languages and it's too hard to translate.
Wow.
Really? We don't have anybody in our government that can translate a foreign language?
Or Google.
Google, yeah.
Google Translate.
We really should have somebody that can speak a couple foreign languages that could translate that. But that is his excuse. It's irrelevant.
Wow.
And, Katie Fang has sued him over this, him personally and him as the head of the DOJ. And the judges are siding with Katie Fang. He is currently, she has asked that he be held in contempt of court, asked that he be fined $1,000 a day until he releases it. And he has until the end of the month to put forth a reason why he shouldn't have to. And then the judge will make a final ruling. So something may actually happen.
See how that goes.
I assume even if the judge makes a ruling, it will be ignored, just as all the other judges' rulings are ignored.
Yeah.
They just, okay, the court ordered me to do this, but I'm not going to, and nothing happens.
It's crazy how like his supporters are like on the same bandwagon about these federal judges too, as they are doing their jobs and looking at cases with a new eye and making these rulings. Their supporters are out there slamming the federal judges as if they're not doing their jobs
and making threats and some serious threats. The Supreme Court justices were just before Congress trying to get more money for their own personal protection because Trump has taken away the United States Marshals from protecting them in their homes.
Wow.
So they're trying to get funding, and they were all telling stories about how they have been doxxed or harassed, or their children and their grandchildren have been harassed by these people for making these so-called activist rulings.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It is insane.
It's just so scary because you thought we have these like rules of law.
Yes.
And these things in place to hold these people accountable. And then we've come to find out this past year and a half that that's not true. You can just not.
If you're brave enough, you can just say no.
Yeah.
So when the court orders you to do whatever it is, if you just don't, apparently there's nothing left we can do about it.
There's no checks.
It's so disheartening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you have a toddler and they don't listen after you count to 10. It's like, ooh, now what?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you know,
That's supposed to work. Now what do we do?
literally.
I don't know how to intro that.
I mean, I guess what I could say is, there's a history of women who have come forward from what I see all the way back to 1996. And this woman was named Maria Farmer, and she went directly to the FBI and told them just about that she was abused and how Epstein and Maxwell were basically running this child sex trafficking ring, and virtually nothing was done. And then the other one who was more of a prominent figurehead was Virginia Giuffre.
Oh yeah.
Not sure if that's how you say her name, but she sued multiple people in relation to this. She sued Epstein, she sued Maxwell, and she actually sued Prince Andrew, since she alleged that she was actually trafficked to him by Epstein. And what I think is interesting is all of these lawsuits were settled out of court. And then her death is also just kind of a thing that raised some eyebrows for me. She got into a car accident, but then died of suicide shortly after.
Like a month before the book she had worked on for years came out.
And said,
Who kills themselves the month before their book comes out?
Say I would not.
And her siblings have come out and said that she would never do that.
Yeah, so that is suspicious.
Yeah.
And the only person, from my understanding, to be actually criminally charged for any of this so far has been Maxwell.
Yes.
She's facing 20 years in prison. And there were some arrests made since the release of the Epstein files, but it's basically people that were caught like on a technicality. Like their charges didn't have anything to do with child sex crimes. Like just as an example, Prince Andrew was arrested for misconduct in regards to sharing confidential trade reports.
Which he was trading. He was giving these reports to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes.
Which looks highly suspicious, as that might be, payment for services rendered or payment for being quiet.
And isn't it so funny that the one person being held accountable is a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a video about that a while ago.
Yes. And then we have the former British ambassador to the U.S., Lord Mandelson.
Yes.
And he was also arrested for leaking government documents to Epstein. So it's kind of just like these people are caught on a technicality, not for the actual crime of, of what they probably did to these kids.
But at least they were arrested for something.
Yeah.
In the United States, as
the-
Sasha says, we arrest one woman, we prosecute her, and she is in prison for child sex trafficking. To who?
Exactly.
Right. Right.
Who did she traffic him to? Somebody has to be guilty
Exactly.
of
Right.
that. You can't, if there's no men that are guilty, she can't be guilty.
Exactly.
And I also think it's really suspicious, just especially with Todd Blanche being the attorney general, at least for now. He was the one that did like that 9-hour interview with Maxwell and then got her transferred to a cushier prison.
Yes.
Right.
It doesn't look good.
And he was Donald Trump's personal
lawyer.
attorney,
which to me is a conflict
which is
of
a
interest.
huge conflict
Yeah.
of interest.
Yeah.
And when asked in his hearings today if he and Donald Trump were friends, his answer was, I am his attorney.
Or I used to be.
And he caught himself.
Yeah.
But his
He caught
first statement was, I am his attorney.
Yes.
And then he's like, I mean, I was his attorney. No, you mean you are his
Yeah,
attorney.
Exactly.
You made that pretty clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one point that was kind of brought up is what do you risk as a survivor when you come forward? And I would say, especially when you're talking about something with all of these high-ranking, ultra-wealthy people, I would say you risk everything, including your own life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but the one conspiracy theory that I will buy is that Epstein didn't kill himself.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and if you read Anita Hill's book from when she came forward on Clarence Thomas all those years ago, I mean, she just lost almost everything in her
Yeah.
career. She ended up going from being a powerful attorney to being a professor at a nothing law school for several years, trying to earn her way back up because nobody would touch her after she came forward on him.
Well, and think about all of the comments that Dr. Ford, I think that was her name, when she came forward with Brett Kavanaugh,
Yes.
like disgusting.
Yes. And there were multiple other women that supported what she was saying, you know, that it had happened to them too with him. But we went with the boys will be boys.
Yeah.
I say women are always paying for men's crimes.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop. I mean, that's kind of what we're all talking about. It's insane, but
Well, not just the cops, like nobody, it took years for a lot of people to believe me because it took years for people don't want to believe what they don't physically see.
Right.
Just in general. I feel like that's a general thing.
Unless
So-
it's a God thing.
I
Then
was
they
gonna
want to believe
say
it.
that's a God thing. But I mean, friends, not really family. I feel like my family usually always had my back, but mutual friends, acquaintances, nobody really wanted to believe me until they started to see some of those snippets of him come out. People just don't want to believe what they don't see, you know? And then cops, you said cops.
The cops were pretty shitty to you.
The cops were called various times, and one time, can I go into detail without
whatever
names?
you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with.
I just won't say any names. One time when I was pregnant with my youngest, I was like 8 months pregnant, and I had a 2-year-old, our older son. I don't know what to call him. I don't know what should I call him. I don't know what to call him.
baby daddy.
The baby daddy. The baby daddy had decided to get really drunk, which was a common occurrence. And even though I was there and his 2-year-old son was there, I'm 8 months pregnant. Anyways, he goes out in the garage and he gets like a shit-faced drunk, is blaring music so loud that I can hear it all the way from upstairs in our house, in our room. So I come downstairs and he is destroying the dining room furniture with a baseball bat. And some of his friends are there and they're like, he's out of control. You got to get out of here. And I don't know what my presence did, but he was ready to mess me up. And his friend ended up getting him to go upstairs. They were like almost fighting. He broke the door. He broke his phone. The cops got called. The cops made me and our 2-year-old and my blind dog leave at 2:00 in the morning while I'm 8 months pregnant in the winter because
Wow.
he's drunk. And yeah, we can't prove that he did anything to harm anybody. And if we tell him to leave, he's just going to come back. So you need to take your son and your dog and go elsewhere. And that's just one of the times that happened. And there were 3 witnesses there too.
And that's why women don't report things.
Yeah.
Because the
fear of
cops don't have your back.
They don't. And then fear of retaliation. Okay. So if they would have made him leave, he would have came back. And then what would have happened?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and I have friends who like were in a situation like that, and then he ended up going for custody. Like you're afraid as a woman, like, what are they going to take from me if I go and say what really happened, or I tell the truth right now?
Right.
So you're just like, well, I just might as well keep it to myself and keep my head down, and then you have to work twice as hard. And
and there is some shame in that too, because especially when you have kids involved, because a part of you is like, how did I put myself and my children in this toxic, abusive situation? Even if, you know, he's not hurting the children, it's still like not a good situation. And you just feel like a piece of shit.
yeah, you feel that shame.
Yeah.
And you don't want to come forward and
And you don't want to freak everybody else out unless you know, absolutely have to.
Yeah, you have to have a strong support system.
Yes.
To be able to come forward.
Yeah.
And thankfully I did. You know, I left during the pandemic with a 3-month-old and a freshly 3-year-old, just on a whim one day. I just had enough, and I called my dad, and I called my best friend and my babysitter, and everybody came at 7 a.m. My babysitter took the kids, and my dad and my best friend loaded up their vehicles and just started moving me out.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank God. Yeah.
Yes.
There's
And I
so
know
many
about it.
women who don't have that, and it's
No.
like, and
Well, and in this idealistic 1950s time frame that
Right.
MAGA seems to be trying to force us back to, the women had no jobs. They
Right.
had no, they had no way to leave.
yep.
So they talk about how marriages lasted forever back then.
They were
It wasn't
trapped.
because the woman wanted to stay.
Yeah.
It was because they couldn't leave.
Financial dependence.
Yes, my own mother-in-law has told me that she would have left her husband after the second kid if she could have possibly figured out how she might support 2 kids.
Yeah.
But she had no idea how she could possibly support 2 kids in the 1960s. And so she just stayed.
Well, and that was a fear that I had. But I mean, the day that I chose to leave, I was just like, I will figure it out. I'll contact churches. I'll go to food banks. I don't care. It's just not worth it. And obviously, I'm very fortunate that it worked out well for me. And
Yeah,
you know, I
because
rebuilt
when
my
you go
life.
to
Yeah.
leave, that's statistically when they end up killing you.
Yes,
too.
Right.
When you
And
go to leave finally.
he was in like a drunken slumber the day I left, but he did wake up while I was leaving. And thank God my dad and my best friend were there, but he was screaming at them too. But had they not been there, you know, who knows what would have happened.
Right.
And you're lucky that you live in this era where it's perfectly acceptable to be a divorced woman. It's acceptable to go out and get your own job and support your own kids.
Yep.
And you're not dealing with the 1950s stereotypes of, you know, now you're a horrible person for doing that.
Right.
Props to Sasha. You have been working your ass
yes.
off. You're
Thanks,
an awesome woman. You're
Thank
very
you.
strong.
Thank you. I appreciate
And a
that.
good role model for your boys.
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I guarantee you're doing way better than him.
Oh, I know that.
We both do.
Yeah.
And there's no way you'll raise boys that are like him.
Oh, no.
No,
Absolutely not. And then I also want to say I am also very fortunate that I was able to have legal help. I was able to have an attorney to help me, you know, with this custody battle that I went through. I had 4 orders of protection. A lot of women can't afford a lawyer. It is really hard to represent yourself in, you know, family court, and a lot of judges don't grant orders of protections when they really should.
Yeah, I think they're around here. It's Safe Families. A lot of people use as a resource.
Yep.
And Montgomery County, you can't use Safe Families because I've tried to contact them in the past.
Oh my
Montgomery
gosh.
County has very limited.
Yeah. Montgomery County doesn't contract with them.
Nope.
Because I know they helped me with some stuff in the past.
Yeah.
And they were
Well,
very good.
Trust good old Montgomery County. We're always the ones
Yep.
that are just a little bit on the back
There
edge
just
of
aren't
things.
enough resources.
There's not.
Desert.
And finding legal representation is so incredibly expensive.
Yes.
But necessary.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't know, I mean, how many times, like all of the things that you need to file and when they have to be filed. And it's such a intimidating thing that you have to go through when you go to court.
Yes.
And it's so scary. And I cannot imagine having to do that on my own.
No.
Right. Well, and then, I mean, you really need somebody experienced to be able to coach you through the documentations that you're going to need.
Right.
I mean, they want you, especially in family court, especially with a violent man, you have to have everything documented to have proof that your claims are true.
Right.
Wow.
If you don't have that, then
Then it can be unfounded.
Yes.
Right.
And then it can
yes.
be listed as a false report.
Exactly.
When really,
Exactly.
it's just there wasn't enough evidence.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know,
And that's why these guys just keep on getting away with it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Just keep on getting away with it. And then they've got their defenders. We
Yeah.
see
Oh,
them
yeah.
every day online.
Yes. We had a commenter just today on discussing the Epstein file situation that said those people, both the girls and the boys, wanted to be with Epstein
saw
and
that.
their friends.
Disgusting.
They're
was
just a
disgusting.
bunch of
Fucking
young
disgusting.
sluts.
Yep.
Wow.
That is
And
fucking disgusting.
that may be the last comment that person makes on our page.
It should
He's a horrible person anyway, and he just won't stop with that stuff. It's not a political discussion. It's just
No, it's
derogatory
disgusting.
name calling.
He's just
He
like
sounds like a predator.
Yeah, he sounds like a predator, and he may be getting blocked.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
sad when you see a white supremacist Nazi telling him that that was a wrong comment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. Our
Wow.
self-avowed white supremacist who hates us dearly
Yeah.
defended us against
so
this
mad.
guy.
Wow.
The world is messed up.
It's
one
it's the one who I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah, it's the one that you and I had a big chat with. He was
Yes.
defending us.
There's like a shred of humanity there, I guess.
I know. I
You know?
actually liked his comment. And
I did
was
too.
like,
I
oh my
was-
God, I actually liked
Yeah,
something you had
I
to
will
say.
give that thread a read, and I'll like his comment
Yeah,
too.
he definitely
Yeah.
deserves it because he defended that, and I appreciate that.
I
I
do,
don't agree
yeah.
with him on much of anything, but he stood up to something that I thought was important to be stood up
It
to.
is. It is. And men really need to stand up. It needs to specifically be men standing up to those
Yeah.
men.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and one point that I feel like we haven't touched on yet, and I know like the moment you bring this statistic up, some people get very angry, but when women go and report these things to law enforcement, I mean, statistically, law enforcement are more likely to be abusers.
Yes.
Yeah,
That
that
is
is
population.
That is
I also read that they, I said it was between 2 and 10% for the false reporting, and that could be just unfounded, but that they surveyed LEOs and they think that the false reporting is like 50%.
Yeah.
So think about the bias they have going in when they
Yeah.
think going in
Law
that
enforcement
50%.
officers are assuming 50% is a lie to begin with.
Yes.
Yeah.
When really it could be as low as 2%.
Yeah.
Wow. I
So,
had no idea.
Yes. Yeah.
And I
That's
think that was
insane.
part of your problem, Sasha. Some of the law enforcement officers you were dealing with don't have the best reputation
don't,
for women either. And I think that it was a little bit of the good old boys club.
It was. Out of all of the encounters that I had in that relationship with the cops, I can count 2 cops that actually gave a shit about me.
Yeah.
And that comes back to like training and, what are they teaching in the academy? And, they need to understand what to do in a domestic violence situation. I mean, just with my own situation, when my dad was struggling through things, we would call the authorities and they were like, we really don't know what to do. Like, we don't know how to help. And so I think that is an issue too, but there needs to be better training across the board.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they just keep gutting these resources that are
Yeah.
desperately needed. I know there's a girl that used to be our neighbor. We would constantly call because there was constant fighting and screaming and physical altercations, but there was not, she had a mental health issue. There's nothing the police could do.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't want to take her to the police station, but also there just aren't enough resources for mental health issues
there's
going
not.
on.
That was what
Well,
we were
and
going
what
through.
makes it even more complicated, because I do have quite a few cases that I've done in which DV is present. Typically, it's a complicated dynamic. It's not always that one person is the perpetrator and not always that one person is the victim, but they're also both not supposed to get their resources at the same place. So it's kind of like you have to split them up, and that requires more resources in the area. There's resources for offenders and resources for victims. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
And there's not always two separate places for this to take place. And it gets very complicated. And
Yeah.
And in the case of the mental health issues, we have so few mental health beds in the state of Illinois that if somebody is suffering something like that, they can sit in an emergency room for literal days waiting for a bed to open up.
Right.
And that does no good for anyone.
no,
Absolutely.
And I do want to give props to the community law enforcement that helped us. They did an amazing job every time we had to call them. But it's just, you know, they did what they could. They did the best that they knew
They're
how to do.
limited because that's all they have.
Yeah.
and this kind of like circles back to, in my opinion, the poor messaging of defund the police, in the sense of like, maybe law enforcement shouldn't be handling all of these things, and we should split off those responsibilities so that way there can be more specialized training.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have a large blanket of things that they have to take care of.
Yes.
It's like know a little bit about a lot, you know? Yeah, that's unfair to them.
And
Yeah, I think it is too.
if there was an emergency mental health service that the law enforcement could contact immediately to come out and help.
Yeah.
I think that
So
should
many-
absolutely be.
Yeah, so many times a person could be talked down or gotten the right treatment
Yeah.
and not end up lunging at a police officer and
Yes.
getting shot.
Right.
Well, I remember this actually happened in Tucson, where I used to live. This guy was having a mental health episode, and he was fully naked, so no way he was hiding a weapon or anything. His mother called the cops because she didn't know what else to do. Her son was having a breakdown, and the cop killed him.
Yeah.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
That happens a lot.
That has happened more than once.
And I think had it maybe been somebody else that responded with more specialized training in that, I don't think that person would have died.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think that person intended to be a threat. They were just having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And there's so many cases where something like that has happened. And then you find out that the parents or the family has been trying to get help for this person who went on to become a school shooter or whatever. And they've been calling and trying to get help. And there's just no help to be had.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
And the 5150 hold, how they can leave the facility, you know, like
Right.
on their own terms. And, you know, that needs to be, there's so much that needs to be changed about mental health
Yeah.
and the way that it's handled.
Maybe we can look forward to some Democrats getting elected that will actually work
Yes.
towards doing something
'Cause
about that.
We recently lost a resource in our community.
Yeah.
And that closing is going to be so impactful in the negative way.
And that's
Living
where I want my taxes to go.
Yes.
Stuff like
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
I would much rather spend my taxes on mental health and healthcare in America than blowing up some little kid in Gaza who's never done anything to me.
Right.
We really need resources for mental health, for drug use, for alcoholism, and we just don't see that in our area.
No,
And the
we don't.
problems are rampant. What I'm kind of gathering from all of these stories is, you know, the men were drunk, not always, but it's a big contributing factor.
It is.
It is.
And that is even when we're talking about Graham Platner, which kind of started our discussion. The most serious accusation has come from someone who acknowledged that he was always drunk. He was always wasted. He had PTSD, probably
Yes.
untreated at that moment. And, you know, these men are capable of doing so much when they're not in their right state of mind. So
She even said that when she confronted him the next morning, he genuinely acted like he had no memory of the situation. And she said he was so drunk that she's not sure that maybe that's true. He
Well-
might not have remembered it,
Well-
but it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah.
right. I will disagree with that only because I researched this quite a bit just to get ready for this.
Uh-huh.
And the interesting thing about that, because at first that's what I thought too, is when she brought it up to him, he never asked what did happen. So he never asked what happened. because
Gotcha.
I'm thinking He already
Yeah.
knew.
That makes total sense.
So if someone were accusing me of something and I didn't,
You'd want some
genuinely-
specifics?
I would
Yeah,
want
I
some
would wanna know.
specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So believe the women.
Believe the women.
Absolutely.
Believe
the women.
Yeah. There are some things that we can do to combat believe the women, though. And so we don't want to leave you on a totally sour note. This was a heavy discussion. And I appreciate everyone contributing. But there are some things that we can do as a group.
So as a group, we have to take women seriously. We have to support survivors. We have to investigate fairly, and apply the same standards to everyone, whether it's a male reporting of violence or it's a female, and make sure that there's a support person for the person in domestic violence or in assault that they can be with. I cannot imagine, thank goodness I have never had to do like the rape kit at the ER. I cannot imagine having to do that alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the
not
trauma.
having someone with you.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be an advocate that
I agree.
that helps women with that. I just can't imagine. It kind of reminds me of like Olivia Benson on Law and Order.
Yeah.
Like I wish there was an Olivia Benson for everyone
Yes.
that has to go through that because she's so good. You know, obviously it's fictional, but I also wanted to bring up there are some really good books out there that if you're interested in reading about domestic violence and assault that are fictionalized books, but they bring up a lot of good points and they're historically on key. They're historically accurate. But one is I just finished it. It's called The Mad Wife. And she is accused of being mentally ill. And I don't want to get too much into it, but it's a really, really good read about how women were viewed in like the 50s and 60s. And it was very alarming. But also, I'm also reading Yesteryear. It's like a #1 bestseller right now. It is about a trad wife who is an influencer, and she wakes up and she is actually in like the 1800s living as a real trad wife.
Wow.
And she is, just to see what that's like. So I'm anxious to finish that book. And there's actually another book about that deals with the way women are viewed in society and the assault and domestic violence called The Calamity Club. That was an amazing book. I've really been trying to read this summer. And that was an amazing book as well. So there are 3 book recommendations for you to
Well, I'll add
check
one
out.
more.
Yes.
Check out 1,000 White Women. It
Okay.
is along those lines, set in the 1800s when they were trying to get more wives out west to settle.
Wow.
And they took women out of mental institutions and sent
You're
them out
kidding
there
me.
to be the wives. It's an interesting book.
Wow.
We've always been trafficked. Women have
Yeah.
always been
Always.
trafficked. And it's so sad.
Yeah. So, but I think that brings us to a close. Like,
Okay.
believe women and
Believe the women.
yeah.
Oh, we also have to talk about our paid subscribers.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So as you can see, we have a list of our paid subscribers. If you want to be on this list, please subscribe. And what?
Hand her the list.
Oh, sorry. So we have Stephen R., Sharon L., Melissa M., Chuck M., Jacqueline S., and Kathy J.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for your support.
It's only 99 cents a month to subscribe. So we are super excited.
We're definitely getting rich off that $1 a month.
We are.
You can also send us stars. Not that it's important. You can watch
Right,
for free,
yes.
but it's like a little
We're already
something.
getting $6 a month. I mean, we can
Right.
get a cup of coffee
Yeah.
with 6 straws and we're good.
I end up and get literally nothing.
We're good to go.
Yeah. And a half of gas.
there you go.
No, but seriously, if you want to be a sponsor, you could be a sponsor of the
So
show. show and we will talk about you. So
Yep. Yeah.
that's a possibility.
And there's a space on our website for sponsorships.
Yeah, on the website, it says it up at the top in the menu. You can sponsor, and it shows you there's a Google form that you fill out, and then we will contact you and let you know kind of how it works and what amount you want to do. So I can think of a lot of good businesses and friends, and yeah, we would love to have sponsors. Yep.
Do it.
Yeah. So in closing, I would just like to close with, if you see something, say something, because you could be the person that is reporting for someone who doesn't have a voice. I think that's really important. Support women around you. Believe them if they tell you something that might to you be unbelievable.
Don't start out with suspicion.
Yes.
Believe them first and
Exactly.
then let the process go through. But don't
Unfold.
start with suspicion.
Absolutely. Have a little compassion.
Yep.
That's what we'll close with.
Bada boom.